Sparking Zero is kinda fun on the surface, but once you dig deep, it's really irritating to play. I've been playing the Tenkaichi series for as long as I can remember, and I have never thought I'd have to play a Dragon Ball game with so many things that slow down the fight. With classic controls, you have to deal with clunky controls when transforming or swapping characters. Sometimes your special moves in classic controls will merge with the standard controls, causing half of your special moves to be unusable. You have to hold key charge for about half a second just to start charging your ki, and parries are so overused and come at no cost, you constantly have to fight around them. Along with glitches and hurtbox issues, the game is really iffy right now. First thing I noticed were small things like little to no audio cues on certain things like charging attacks and vanishing. I had to turn my music off completely just to get that feel of the game back. Audio is really important in the series because it gives you an idea of when something will break guard or how to time a perfect attack. Now that there's little to no sound to it, you have to play off of feel, and while you can get used to that over time, the game is far too fast paced and flashy to really pay mind to a slight white aura appearing around you. Your charge attacks don't really flow seamlessly in the combos either anymore, which causes inputs to get scuffed or will have your charge attack get stepped so easily. In this clip, the moments where I randomly just stop hitting, I'm actually trying to input a charge attack to continue the combo. The audio issues also appear when skills are in use. After Image actually made me think that the game was glitching for a short while. I thought that it was just a collision issue. While the skills have distinct audio and animations, the audio is directly connected to the character rather than the overall game, which causes situations where somebody, unbeknownst to you, powers themselves up all the way to sparking in a blink of an eye while they're halfway across the map. If you didn't want to add an audio cue that will stretch throughout the playing field, they could have easily added the title of the skill somewhere on the screen to show the opponent has a skill that's being used. Some of these skills do have cutscenes, which I think is fine. It balances the game out a bit more. Adding on to the lack of skill visual clarity, I noticed the removal of other visual cues in mechanics in general. During a physical clash, you can't really tell what's going on or who's going to win the altercation because the attack counter doesn't show anymore. I understand that not knowing who's going to come out on top is part of the fight, but I personally like to know who's doing better in an altercation. That's really the only clash I can speak on though, because most of the clash minigames are extremely unintuitive. Despite running into them on many occasions, I simply cannot understand what's going on. The other ones, I can only really guess on. Like, am I supposed to break through these little walls, or am I supposed to get close to one, or maybe it's done. Okay, the only minigame that you would really run into in the older games is spinning your analog stick. And while sure, spinning your analog stick used for every single altercation is kind of boring on paper, that is a lot more interactive and intuitive than whatever the fuck this is. I still don't understand it. I thought I had it. I don't know, man. I don't know. In previous games, you would have to spam circle or B to recover from a guard break, stun move, or charge attack, which in retrospect adds a bit of a mind game to altercations depending on your opponent. Sparking Zero doesn't have that mechanic anymore. I don't think. I've tried doing tests, but it seems like the only time you can press buttons to recover is when you're recovering ki from a guard break that drains you down to 0. But I also didn't know that until my tests, since there's no visual cue. Recovery just seems very unclear, and once you get stunned, it seems like you're at the mercy of your opponent. But since you don't have to recover from anything, you can just press block at any moment and teleport. So that's cool. A layer of gameplay just completely ripped. Fine, it's awesome. I think the most annoying visual cue that was taken out is the translucent wall that would appear to show you how close you are to a wall. The wall is so important for so many things. The lack of clarity made me drop combos, sidestep into nothing, and most importantly, you don't have an indicator for my devious back turn tech. There is a little warp effect, but by the time you see it, it's too late and you're like already cooked. The combo's already dropped. You're already getting hit. Like there's like it's so stupid. The parries are also an issue for me. At worst, you waste 2 utility bars and knock them away with the opportunity for a special move, and at best, you get a perfect parry that drains your opponent's ki. There is literally no harm in using a parry, and I think they wanted the parry to be a big part of the game since modern controls swaps out the old block button with a parry button. While I don't get hit by every single parry thrown my way, I have to constantly maneuver myself around them and hit at awkward intervals because I know if I mess up, I'll just get knocked back and have to work my way back in. It's the most boring concept known to man. parries used to only really work on barrage attacks, but now certain parries seem to work on extensions too, which is just so overkill. Oh my god. Well, special moves. Special moves are so ass to deal with in this game. There was a rework to them, so a lot more of the beams track you down or count as grabs. Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan has both of these. Look, I'm a Teen Gohan main, but holy shit, this is actually insane. His Super Kamehameha tracks like a madman and will chase you down, so your options are either take the chip damage, risk a teleport, or waste utility bars to knock it away. Knocking it away wouldn't be an issue if the Super Kamehameha didn't only take 2 bars of ki, so I could just sit back and blast them over and over and over again and force the enemies to take a risky maneuver just to get in. His father-son Kamehameha also counts as a grab, but unfortunately it doesn't track. But at a certain range, it is practically guaranteed. A change that they added to this game is when you go into sparking mode, you can use normal special moves while still keeping your sparking. So what is stopping me from doing a Super Kamehameha, only draining a couple of bars while still in sparking and then going in for a father-son Kamehameha? It is like so like overkill for that shit. I don't really have an issue with these kinds of mechanics, but when these attacks move at the speed of light and take so much health, and some of them can't be blocked, seeing them from so many characters is really annoying to deal with. Rushing special attacks come in 2 variants like always. There are the straight lines and maneuverables. These are just names I've come up with in my head. I legitimately don't know the name of anything. I just call stuff the same thing I've been calling that shit for like nearly 2 decades now. And sometimes I can't really tell who has what. I know from my time of playing the Tenkaichi series that Bardock has a straight line rush attack, but sometimes rush attacks just go like past people or go straight over their heads like a poorly timed joke. The collision and tracking seems so bad in this game. I can't tell you the amount of times people get pushed out of my combo because Shao Tzu just won't move forward a little bit with his attacks. There are so many glitches and hurtbox issues. Countless times there are moments where special attacks that charge the opponent will completely whiff for no reason, and the moments where my combos just won't move forward, which leave me at a disadvantage. I've had moments where my attacks would clip through opponents, and moments where I can't use my dodge properly because I'm too close to the opponent and I get caught on them. The game is extremely fast paced, so I'm sure that there's a lot more issues that I missed, but these issues cost me a character and sometimes an entire match. I am constantly fighting against the game and the opponent just to squeeze out a win. In all my years playing the series, I haven't ran into many glitches, especially not ones this severe before. This game has so much potential, and I haven't ran into really any broken characters, but there are so many things that can go wrong in any given match. I pretty much have 28 hours on the game, and literally most of that is like ranked or private matches. And I don't know, with the amount of people that were complaining about the fucking Great Ape Vegeta fight, I doubt a lot of these characters are like actually busted. If you can't get past the Great Ape Vegeta fight, I hate to say it, just get a little better at the game. I haven't ran into many characters that were like busted like crazy. I'm sure there are some things that are busted like crazy in the game. I haven't ran into anything that I couldn't get past. So I don't know what to tell you. 17 years for this shit. Another year with a mid Dragon Ball game. I don't care. So many things wrong with this game.